book, and you could say, you know, listen, I'm looking for these key words for them to type into their paragraph to understand that they got it. You would have all your target words here. And then at the same time, you could say, listen, I really also wanted to make sure they're not confusing this with some other topic. So let's, you know, have 4 or 5 or 6 words that are kind of inappropriate that we wouldn't want to see out of their answer. And you could add those to the inappropriate words. And then as they're typing their paragraph, you just come down here and click on Monitor Activity. And it will then tell you, you know, as they're working in Word or as they're working in Notepad, wherever you have them typing in that paragraph, how many of the target words they hit versus how many of the inappropriate words that they hit. And it would kind of give you a real-time assessment on how they're doing. Now, obviously, you probably want to gather that file anyway from them and read it, but in a very short glimpse, you would be able to see, are they hitting the target words I'm expecting or not? Again, are they understanding the concept or not? And then last but not least is there's a whiteboard function. Now, I'll be honest with you. The whiteboard is at the very bottom of the list, and there's a reason for that. It's not used a lot in classrooms. And the value, I'll just be honest, is not there. It's a requirement to have it, you know, in software. Most teachers don't use it. The reason they don't is that they already have a whiteboard in front of the class, right? They're already used to standing up using either interactive whiteboard or Promethean or just a straight whiteboard and being able to explain what they're trying to do up on a whiteboard. And it is so much easier to type and draw on a whiteboard in front of the class than it is to come into an application and do it here. So, you know, this feature exists. You know, if you find value in it, great. You certainly can use it. But for the most part, what we see is that a lot of people don't use the whiteboard in the software. They use the traditional whiteboards that they have in front of the class. Okay, so let's get into now some deeper features, I guess you could say, based on the way the application works. So one of the other features that you can create is a journal. You can create a journal by student. So let's say you want to track every day how that student is doing. We have a few school districts. Orange County, by the way, is using this a lot, where Orange County today, they make it mandatory for all of their teachers to
Sorry
create...
to interrupt, but your call doesn't meet the participant minimum and will be disconnected in 2 minutes. Please call your parties directly.
Oh, it looks like the other person jumped off the call. I apologize for that. They must have hung up. Give me one moment, and I will dial into this with my cell phone. Apologize for that. Just give me one moment. Okay, so my cell phone should be joining me.
Has joined the conference.
Any moment, and then we continue. So from a journal perspective, you can actually create a journal every day of what that student has done. And then when you create that journal, as I was explaining what Orange County does, they actually then send that and create the PDF file, is what it really does per student. And then they turn around and they email that PDF file to the student and his or her parent every day. So, you know, I know in some schools they send home a homework book or they send home a lesson book. This is a way of doing that, but also capturing what the student did that day during class. So you have the ability to create a journal if you want. Or maybe you just want to create the journal for your own use, and then when it comes time for student evaluation, it comes time for grading, and it comes time to sit down at parent-teacher conference, you can certainly share out that journal as well. But to share out a journal, let's say I'm going to do my math teacher journal. So I'm going to open it up, and that's the kind of journal I'm going to have. And then I get to choose what I want it to be. So I create the heading, you know, this is algebra lesson. And then I can
sending you a message.